Okay, good morning, fine young scholars. This is actually take two. I just did this entire lecture and realized that I did not have the microphone turned on. So live and learn, here we go. We just had a lesson, or the assignment that you just completed was converting from degrees to radians, and then from radians and degrees. So what you have in front of you is what you're looking at up here at the InterWrite board, a worksheet, and we're going to develop the unit circle. That is, the only one that is currently given to you is what you see here in the first quadrant. We know from the assignment that we just had that 30 degrees is pi over 6 radians. And similarly, I'm going to take out my blue pen now. If you are a person that has colored pencils or colored pens, I'd bust them out because they're gonna we're going to make good use of them today. In this first quadrant, this terminal side that is 45 degrees with the x-axis. Okay, remember that the positive x-axis, we refer to that as the initial side of the angle, and then as it goes up, the terminal side is 45 degrees. Okay, so positive measure angles go counterclockwise, which is why we name the quadrants 1, 2, 3, 4 going counterclockwise as well. So a 45 degree angle, we learned, converts to be a pi over 4 radian measure angle. And then, okay, busting out my green now, we know that a 60 degree angle converts to be a pi over 3 radian measure angle. And I would contend with you that if we know these three conversions, that is really the only thing that we really need to memorize. And you're not going to hear me use that word very often because I always feel like it's far greater for us to understand things than for us to memorize. Because if we truly understand it, then we just know it, and that's better than memorization. So in any case, if we know these conversions of these three angles in the first quadrant, then we are going to be able to make ourselves a way around this entire unit circle and know the measures of all of these terminal sides. And this is going to be huge. We're going to spend a fair amount of time developing this, and it is going to be in your best interests to absolutely know this. And we're going to spend some time and give you opportunities to show us that you've mastered this. So today's a big day, big lecture. Okay, before we start to develop all of these colored terminal sides in these quadrants, let's kind of start with what are called the quadrantal angles, the angles that lie on the axes. Okay, so we all know that that this is the positive x-axis, and that is the initial side. So that is 0 degrees or 0 radians. Okay, and as we start to make our way around the circle, we learned in our previous lesson that if we make it halfway around the circle, that we already knew that that's 180 degrees. And we now know that that is pi radians. If we made one full revolution around the circle, going counterclockwise, okay, we know that that is 360 degrees, or pi over 2 radians. Okay? Knowing that, if halfway around the circle is 180 degrees or pi radians, then that means when we hit the fourth way around, or the positive x-axis, of course we know we are at 90 degrees, and that is half of pi, or as we will refer to it, pi over 2 radians. Alright, that leaves one quadrantal angle. If we go, and that's the negative y-axis, if we go 90 degrees past 180, we know we are at 270 degrees, and that would put us at a pi over 2 past pi, or that would be 3 pi over 2 radians. So these are the quadrantal angles. These are the quadrantal angles. Hopefully this makes sense. If at any point during this lecture that if it seems like I'm going too fast, then maybe we just pause it, let people catch up, and then we'll just kind of pick right up where we are, since I can't actually see your faces to see if there's any puzzling looks that you're giving me. Okay, moving on. Okay, so let's start first with this 30-degree angle. So I told you early on that it'd be a great idea for you to bust out colored pencils or pens, and the reason for this is what we're going to talk about right now. As long as we understand, okay, I'm going to my red, okay, as long as we understand that this angle in the first quadrant, that 30 degrees and pi over 6 mean the same thing, okay, then I would contend that we should be able to find the measures of the angles in both degrees and radians for any of the other 3 terminal sides in the second, third, and fourth quadrant. So this is what I mean, okay? So follow closely, okay? In the second quadrant, here is where the terminal side, okay, also has a 30-degree angle with the x-axis. So wouldn't that mean that we are 30 degrees away from 180, or we are at 150 degrees? Or I could say we are at pi over 6 radians from pi, which would be 5 pi over 6. Okay? If we go to the third quadrant, again, the terminal side that is red, okay, the terminal side here that is red is we are 30 degrees or pi over 6 away from the x-axis, which means we've gone 30 degrees past 180, or we are at 210 degrees, or we have just gone pi over 6 past pi, okay, which would be 7 pi over 6. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Let's go on to the fourth quadrant. Again, so this is the final terminal side over here in the fourth quadrant. The final terminal side whose angle with the x-axis is 30 degrees or pi over 6. So doesn't it make sense then that the measure of this angle, we are now 30 degrees away from 360, or we are at 330 degrees. And if we are pi over 6 away from 2 pi, well, let's see, 2 pi, that would be 12 pi over 6. So that puts us at 11 pi over 6. So there you have it. There are all of the angle measures around the unit circle that have a 30-degree angle with the x-axis. And hopefully that kind of makes sense. I think we'll get better at this because we're going to use the same strategy now for the 45 and the 60-degree angles. And let's see, if I'm a good teacher, then while we're doing this, I'm going to give you, I'm going to pause a bit to see if you can kind of come up with the answer on your own before I write it up here. Okay? So here we are. We're going with these angles right here. We're going with the 45 degree, okay, and the pi over 4, which would be any of these in each of the quadrants. All of the blue lines are representing angles that are 45 degrees away from the x-axis. Okay? So here we go. Let's go on to the second quadrant. All right, we're looking here at this blue terminal side, which we know is creating a 45-degree angle. Okay? Let me change my color to blue, which is creating a 45-degree angle here with the x-axis. So that means I am 45 degrees away from 180, or I am at 135 degrees. Okay, I'm doing this one. I'm going to see if you guys can get the one in the third quadrant. All right. Likewise, in radians, if I am pi over 4 away from pi, then doesn't that mean that I am at 3 pi over 4 radians? All right, let's go into the third quadrant. Let me give you guys a chance here to get this. So if we are 45 degrees past 180, where are we? How about 225 degrees? And if we are pi over 4 past pi, we are at 5 pi over 4. Okay? Let's get into the fourth quadrant. All right, so we are 45 degrees away from 360. So we know we are at 315 degrees. And if I am pi over 4 away from 2 pi, well, that would be 2 pi would be 8 pi over 4. So that puts us at 7 pi over 4. All right, scholars, one to go. Hang in there. We're 11 minutes into this lecture, and we're bringing it home. So let's see if we can bust this last one out. So the third of the 3 angles that we're really focusing on is 60-degree angles. Okay, and we all know. Okay, I'm changing my color. I'm going to green. That in the first quadrant from our assignment that we just completed, that we know that 60 degrees is the same as pi over 3 radians. And again, that's crucial that you just commit that to memory, that you just know that 60 degrees and pi over 3 are representing the same angle. If we know that, then we should be able to fill in the rest of these. Okay, so here we go. Second quadrant. You know the gig now. Let's see if you can bust this out. What would the degree measure be in the second quadrant? Kind of come up with it on your own. Let's see if we agree. (120 degrees). All right. How many radians will that be? Hopefully you agree again, 2 pi over 3. So when we're getting these answers, 120 degrees and 2 pi over 3, we are not doing the conversion that you did on your homework assignment. Okay, that we got to kind of get away from that, and just these are things that we should just know. If this is a 60-degree angle right here, then I know that I am 60 degrees from 180, so that's 120. If this is a pi over 3 angle, then I know that I am pi over 3 away from pi. Pi would be 3 pi over 3, so I'm at 2 pi over 3. All right, carry on. Third quadrant. Okay, third quadrant. Here we are. Terminal side, green, third quadrant. I am pi over 3 past pi. That puts me at 4 pi over 3. I am 60 degrees past 180. That puts me at 240 degrees. Last one, people. Last one. Here we are. Fourth quadrant. 60-degree angle with the x-axis. Puts me at what degrees? You can say it, even though I can't hear it. Yeah, I believe I heard 300 degrees. And if I am pi over 3 away from 2 pi, well, let's see. 2 pi is 6 pi over 3. So that puts me at 5 pi over 3. All right, there you have it, fine young scholars. That puts us at 14 minutes, 50 seconds of lecture time today. Hopefully this makes sense. This is your baby, people. This is something that you absolutely need to do, okay? We won't have time to make these conversions like you did on your assignment last night. We've got to hopefully just know all of these, and I think the strategy and the way that we kind of taught this today is, in my humble opinion, the best way for us to learn this. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.